Good morning, good day, and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all races, ages, genders, sexual orientations, religions, etc. Before I begin, I would like to extend my congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60 and are now two-time Super Bowl champions. I had faith in the Seahawks winning it all. For one, they played impressive football all season. Another reason is mentioned in my Eagles video I posted last year. Fun fact, winners of conference championship games involving divisional opponents tend to win the Super Bowl. The two teams historically who that did not apply to, coincidentally, were the 1980s Eagles and the 1972 Washington Redskins. Yep, the pattern continues. That aside, I'd like to continue another pattern, and that is talking about another Eagles legend. This former Eagle has seen his fair share of impressive highlights and some not so good moments, both on and off the field. He is considered to be one of the Eagles and NFL's best deep threat receivers the sport has ever seen. You may have heard of him, but the player I'm referring to is the one, the only, DeSean Jackson. One may ask, I remember hearing his name before, but what made him so special? Well, DeSean William Jackson was born on the 1st of December, 1986 in the Crenshaw district of Los Angeles, California. Despite the reputation of gang violence, social challenges, and bad reputation in the area, it is known for harboring athletic talent. Jackson's passion for football started at a young age, with his father, Bill Jackson, being his mentor, trainer, and influence. Though Jackson didn't have the size advantage, he was known for his impeccable speed and competitive nature. His father would continue to instill discipline, technique, and confidence in playing football, something Jackson would take with him throughout his early life. Jackson attended Long Beach Polytechnic High School, which had one of the most prestigious football programs in the United States, having produced over 60 NFL athletes. While football was his sport of choice, Jackson was also a star in track and basketball. His speed was showcased in track as he ran a 10.5 in a 100-meter dash. During his tenure in high school, Jackson was seen as one of the most dangerous playmakers in California, known for his home run ability, deep receptions, punt returns, and broken play touchdowns. He caught 60 passes for 1,075 yards for 15 touchdowns, and even played defensive back against Los Alamitos High School in the CIF Southern Section Championship. He caught 2 interceptions, one of them being returned 68 yards for a touchdown to help Long Beach Poly win in a 21-6 score. Furthermore, Jackson was selected to the 2005 U.S. Army All-American Bowl, having starred for the West Squad. In that game, Jackson recorded 7 receptions for 141 yards and passing for a 45-yard touchdown in a 35-3 victory. With this performance, he was named MVP of the All-American Bowl. Despite being undersized, recruiting analysts viewed Jackson as a game breaker whose speed forced defenses to find ways to adjust to him. With his impressive track record, no pun intended, numerous major programs sought the young star to be part of their football squad, though his 2 major universities were USC and UC Berkeley. While many athletes from Poly chose to go to USC, it was assumed Jackson would follow suit. Those assumptions were incorrect, as Jackson chose to attend UC Berkeley as he wanted to not fall into what everyone else was doing and go somewhere on his own. Additionally, Berkeley had opportunities for early playing time, the location was close to family, and Jackson trusted their offensive system. Jackson would play 3 seasons for the California Golden Bears football team from 2005 to 2007. He became an immediate starter and was the primary punt returner. In his first collegiate game against Sacramento State in 2005, he scored both an offensive and special teams touchdown. The latter was from a punt 49 yards for a touchdown. The Bears would win in a 41-3 annihilation. The team season would conclude at the 2005 Las Vegas Bowl against BYU in a Bears victory with a score of 35-28. Jackson was regarded as the team's top deep threat and demonstrated confidence that was not typically seen in a college freshman. In his sophomore year, Jackson gained national recognition. He tallied 1,060 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns while also returning a nation-leading 4 punts for touchdowns. In one game against the Arizona Wildcats, Jackson returned a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. Furthermore, he earned first-team All-Pac-10 honors as both a punt returner and a wide receiver, and was selected for the first-team All-American as a punt returner. Lastly, Jackson captured the inaugural Randy Moss Award as the top returner in the nation. With back-to-back outstanding years, Jackson's name was put forth as a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. He entered the season similar to where he left off at the previous season with a 77-yard punt return for a touchdown against the Tennessee Volunteers in the opening game of the season. The Bears would win in a 45-31 score. Jackson continued to prove to be an asset to the team in the game against the 11th-ranked Oregon Ducks, as he caught 11 passes for 161 yards, 2 touchdowns to lead the Bears to a 31-24 score. This game marked their first victory in the Autzen Stadium since 1987. Despite suffering several minor injuries that limited his effectiveness during the season, Jackson finished his junior year with 65 receptions for 762 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. He was honored as an All-American as a return specialist. Jackson finished his collegiate career with 162 receptions, 2,423 receiving yards, 22 receiving touchdowns, and 6 punt return touchdowns, a Pac-10 record. Following the 2007 season, Jackson declared for the 2008 NFL Draft, foregoing his senior year at UC Berkeley. This decision stemmed from his belief that he could make a positive impact on an NFL roster, his speed continuing on at the professional level, and further college play would lessen his value. One of the major concerns about Jackson included his small frame, being measured at 5'9" 3/4, and just over 170 pounds. Despite this, Jackson performed well at the 2008 Combine in positional drills, running routes, and catching passes, continuing to display his well-known agility and quickness. He also posted a standing broad jump of 10 feet. He even showcased his speed by running a 4.35 40-yard dash, marking him as a top 10 wide receiver prospect. On the 26th of April, 2008, Jackson was selected 49th in the second round of the 2008 draft to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the offensive philosophy emphasizing speed, spacing, and multiplicity, Jackson was a perfect fit for Philly. What was odd about this draft pick is that even though Jackson was the 7th wide receiver to be selected, this was the first time no wide receiver was selected in the first round. In July the same year, Jackson agreed to a 4-year contract. Jackson showed that his decision to forego his senior year at Berkeley was a good decision, as he highlighted a 76-yard punt return for a touchdown against the New England Patriots in a Week 3 preseason game. The Eagles won 27-17. This game was critical for Jackson as it demonstrated his multiple dimensions to the coaching staff. At the time, starting wide receivers Kevin Curtis and Reggie Brown were dealing with injuries. His explosive preseason, especially against the Patriots, led to him becoming the first rookie to start an opening day under head coach Andy Reid. He would serve as a starting punt returner and second-string wide receiver. Jackson made his real debut to the NFL in a Week 1 game against the then-named St. Louis Rams on the 7th of September. In the game, Jackson recorded 6 catches for 106 yards, 8 punts for a total of 97 yards, including a 16-yard punt return to set up a field goal, and had over 200 all-purpose yards, a record for a rookie wide receiver. The Eagles would win in a score of 38-3. The following week on Monday night was one many fans of the NFL will remember. Not only did it feature one of the NFL's top rivalries in the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, but it also featured one of Jackson's greatest blunders. In an intense competition between the two teams that featured 7 lead changes, midway through the second quarter with the Eagles trailing 20-21, quarterback and Eagles legend Donovan McNabb threw a deep pass to Jackson and scored his first NFL touchdown. Or so he thought. What actually happened is Jackson fumbled the ball just before crossing the goal line as he celebrated way too early. Despite the Eagles scoring a touchdown by running back and fellow Eagles legend Brian Westbrook, the Cowboys would overcome their deficit and narrowly defeat the Eagles in a score of 41-37. Though this was a low light for the team, Jackson would be the first Eagles receiver to have over 100 receiving yards in each of his first 2 games since Don Looney in 1940. Jackson would continue his rookie season with the Eagles with many achievements, such as finally getting his first NFL touchdown in a Week 4 game against the Chicago Bears in a 20-4 loss, and Jackson getting his first punt return for a touchdown against the then-named Washington Redskins in a 17-23 loss. The Eagles would win the NFC East following a winner-take-all game against the Dallas Cowboys in a 44-6 massacre. The team would make a deep playoff run as a number 6 seed, defeating the number 3 seed Minnesota Vikings in a wildcard round in a score of 16-14, and defeating the defending champions, the number 1 seed New York Giants, 23-11. The team would fall short of a Super Bowl appearance in the NFC Championship game against the Arizona Cardinals in a 32-25 score. This was 1 game shy of a Battle of Pennsylvania Super Bowl. Though Jackson's playoff stats were low, he would score his final touchdown of the season against the Cardinals, hauling in a 62-yard touchdown to cap a 6-catch, 92-yard game. He ended his rookie season with 2 receiving touchdowns, a team-leading 62 receptions, the most by an Eagles wide receiver, second only to tight end Keith Jackson's 81 in 1988. Joining Don Looney as the only Eagles to lead the team in receptions their rookie seasons, surpassing Keith Jackson's rookie record of 869 receiving yards with 912, and leading the NFL with 50 punt returns, which is an Eagles rookie record and 3rd all-time for 440 yards, 3rd in the NFL, 5th ever by an Eagle, and an Eagles rookie record. Needless to say, DeSean Jackson had an impressive rookie season. The 2009 season saw Jackson return to being a key offensive player and a reminder of how dangerous he is as a wide receiver. In Week 1 against the Carolina Panthers, he recorded his 2nd touchdown for 85 yards in a 38-10 game. With McNabb's injury during the game, backup quarterback Kevin Kolb would take the helm as the Eagles quarterback for 2 games. He threw his first touchdown to Jackson against the New Orleans Saints for 71 yards, though the Eagles lost in a 48-22 slaughter. Jackson would continue to be a highlight for the season, including a returning McNabb in Week 7, throwing his 200th career passing touchdown and 3,000th career passing yards on the 26th of October against the Washington Redskins. Jackson will suffer a concussion in Week 12 against the Vikings, though the Eagles will win narrowly in a 27-24 score. After missing a game, he returned with a vengeance against the New York Giants. setting career records, catching 6 passes for 178 yards, including a 60-yard touchdown pass from McNabb and a 72-yard punt return for a touchdown. This game also highlighted Jackson tying an NFL record shared with Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch for having 8 touchdowns for over 50 yards. With that performance, he would win the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week award. The 2009 season would end terribly, having been swept by the Cowboys, which included a 24-0 Week 17 shutout, and losing in embarrassing fashion the following week in the wildcard round in a 34-14 loss. Jackson ended the season as the Eagles' leading receiver with 1,167 yards and was selected for the 2010 Pro Bowl. The following season saw Jackson frustrated with contract negotiations, though he would remain with the team. This season also saw the departure of McNabb, who, even to this day, is considered one of, if not the greatest player to wear an Eagles uniform. Kevin Kolb would replace McNabb, though returning controversial quarterback and Atlanta Falcons legend Michael Vick would play interchangeably throughout the season. Jackson would see a drop in production this season, though he would remain an elite receiver. This was showcased in a 2010 matchup against the Washington Redskins in what was called the Monday Night Massacre. Jackson would throw a deep pass to Jackson for an 88-yard touchdown on the very first play of the game. This happened after Jackson got into an altercation with safety LaRon Landry before the game started. The Eagles would win against the Redskins in a score of 59-28. Though the 88-yard touchdown was his career record, Jackson would break this record against the Dallas Cowboys in Week 14 when Vick threw to Jackson on the 91-yard score, which ended with him doing a backwards fall for a touchdown that many NFL players today mimic. As if Jackson's late season surge wasn't great enough, the Week 15 game against the Giants would be one both teams would never forget. Despite being down 31-10 with less than 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Eagles scored 21 unanswered points to tie the game. In the final seconds of the game, punter Matt Dodge was instructed by head coach Tom Coughlin to not kick to Jackson, knowing his skill as punt returner. Dodge would punt to Jackson anyway, and despite fumbling the ball, Jackson would pick it up and run for 65 yards for a game-winning touchdown in the final score of 38-31. This game is referred to by Giants fans as the punt, while Eagles fans call it Miracle at the Meadowlands 2. This game would unfortunately be the last the Eagles won that season, as they would lose their last 2 regular season games and a playoff game against the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Green Bay Packers. This was the second time the Eagles failed to meet the Steelers in the Super Bowl. The 2011 season, which was dubbed the Dream Team by backup quarterback Vince Young, would see Jackson again facing negotiation issues, leading to him not reporting on time for training camp and being fined $30,000 per day he missed. He would find compromise with the team a day before he would lose a year of service toward free agency. This season saw Jackson face lows and included deactivation for missing team meetings, taunting Giants coordinator Perry Fewell, and being benched for dropping 2 potential touchdown passes against the New England Patriots. Despite the lows, including his lowest total punt return yards of his career, he ranked 71st in the top 100 NFL players of 2012. The 2012 season was not too good of a season for the Eagles or their fans. Jackson will receive a franchise tag, though he would later sign a 5-year, $51 million contract. This was a down year for Jackson, as he would accumulate 45 receptions for 700 yards in 11 games, before fracturing his rib in Week 12 against the Carolina Panthers. The Eagles would finish the season 4-12, and Andy Reid would be fired after being head coach for the team for 11 seasons. The 2013 season would see many changes. The most prominent was Andy Reid's replacement at head coach, former Oregon Ducks head coach Chip Kelly. Kelly's fast-paced offense was nothing the NFL had seen before, and it was something that helped him succeed in college. This was the same season that Michael Vick would suffer numerous injuries and be replaced by quarterback and future Eagles legend, Nick Foles. Jackson would see somewhat of a revival this season, having been highlighted in games against the Redskins, the then named San Diego Chargers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of the most memorable games that season was the Week 9 game against the then named Oakland Raiders. In the game, Jackson was part of Foles' NFL tying 7 touchdown passes as he caught a 46-yard touchdown reception and a 49-20 win. The 2013 regular season would end with the Eagles defeating the Dallas Cowboys in a battle for the NFC East. They would go on to the wildcard round against the New Orleans Saints in a last-second field goal in a 26-24 defeat. Jackson would end the season with statistically his best season of his career. With this, many thought there was a bright future ahead for Jackson as an Eagle. Despite having a revival season with the Eagles, Jackson was released by the team on March 28, 2014. An official reason for the release of Jackson was due to his connection to gangs, his attitude and work ethic, especially with showboating, and him not fitting in Chip Kelly's scheme. Jackson would deny these allegations and even spoke on the incident in a 2510 show. This move was met with harsh criticism, especially with Jackson's previous season and being a fan favorite. With his release, the Washington Redskins would acquire Jackson on the 2nd of April 2014 for a 3-year, $24 million contract with $16 million guaranteed. The Redskins would use him in a similar fashion that the Eagles used him earlier in his tenure with the team. Jackson's first 2 games with the Redskins would start off slow, even suffering a bruised left shoulder in a Week 2 win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Despite the minor injury, Jackson would return to Philadelphia the following week, seeking to get revenge on the very team that released him. Jackson would show hostility towards the team and would beat the defenders in plays whenever he could, to the great displeasure of the Eagles crowd. This was shown when he caught an 81-yard touchdown pass from Redskins quarterback Kirk Cousins. He would mock the Eagles' bird flap and kick it away following the touchdown. Though Jackson had his presence remembered in his return to Philly, the Redskins would narrowly lose in the score of 37-34. The Redskins would lose 9 of their next 11 games before meeting Philadelphia again. The Eagles, being led by Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez, would lose to the 3-11 Redskins in the score of 27-24. With the Cowboys beating the Colts the following day, the Eagles were eliminated from playoff contention. Jackson would remind the Eagles what they were missing that season by recording a massive performance. He embarrassed the Eagles secondary for 103 yards on 4 catches, which included a 51-yard reception. He would mock the Eagles celebration following their victory. The Redskins would end their season 4-12, though Jackson broke 100 receiving yards in 6 games that season, and ended with 56 receptions for a team-leading 1,169 yards and 6 touchdowns, and led the NFL for the second time in his career with 20.9 yards per catch. He would rank 50th in the top 100 players of 2015. Jackson will be plagued with injuries in the 2015 season. It started in the preseason when he suffered a hamstring injury in Week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. He would be out of action until Week 9 against the New England Patriots, which the Redskins lost 27-10. Jackson will create another notable Monday Night Football memory, just not for a good reason. In the Week 13 game against the Dallas Cowboys, the 2 teams were tied 9-9. On a punt to the Redskins, Jackson would catch the ball. He tried to make an incredible play, but reversed back nearly to their own goal line and was tackled, which led to a fumble and into Dallas Cowboys' hands. The Cowboys scored a few plays later. Despite this, the Redskins will redeem themselves on the following kickoff return. Jackson would redeem himself by catching a game-tying touchdown. And despite this, the Cowboys will win the game in a 54-yard field goal in a score of 19-16. Though the Redskins were 5-7 after the game, they wouldn't be down and out. They would go on a win streak, and in a Week 16 showdown with the Eagles for the chance to win the NFC East, they would defeat the Eagles 38-24, winning the division for the first time since 2012. Though Jackson's numbers for the game weren't the best, getting revenge on his former team was better. The team would finish their regular season defeating the Dallas Cowboys with a record of 9-7. They would later be defeated by the Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round, 35-18. Jackson finished the 2015 season with career lows, mostly due to his injury. The 2016 season for Jackson was an improvement from his previous season. He would remain one of the NFL's most elite receivers, especially with his speed. Despite this, he would see highs and lows in production. He would also face fines for wearing police caution tape on his cleats and protesting racial injustice in a Week 4 win against the Cleveland Browns. Jackson will be part of the Redskins sweeping the Eagles this season. The Redskins will finish their season 8-7-1. Jackson, along with teammate Pierre Garçon, became part of the first Washington receiving duo to both reach 1,000 yards in the same season since 1999. Jackson will enter free agency at the season's end in their desire to get younger talent at wide receiver. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will sign Jackson on the 9th of March 2017 to a 3-year, $33.5 million contract. His first season with the team was less than stellar, as he recorded his lowest career average. This was partly due to his injuries and also his lack of chemistry with quarterback Jameis Winston, especially Winston's excessive pregame motivation speech, which he felt didn't translate into game day success.
Let's go. That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W.
That season, the Eagles would win Super Bowl 52 in a revenge game against the New England Patriots in the score of 41-33. Jackson's 2018 season saw him again suffer an injury, though he would lead the league in yards per reception through playing 12 of 16 games. During this season, Jackson broke numerous records, including his 27th career touchdown of 50-plus yards against the New Orleans Saints in Week 1, tying him for the third most in NFL history, behind Randy Moss and Jerry Rice, becoming the first player in over 30 years to record 140-plus receiving yards in consecutive seasons openers in Week 2 against the Eagles, becoming the 47th player in NFL history to reach 10,000 receiving yards in Week 17 against the Browns, and marking his 24th career receiving touchdown of 60-plus yards, breaking the all-time NFL record previously held by Jerry Rice in Week 8 against the Bengals. He found better success and chemistry with quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Despite the record-breaking season, Jackson felt displeased with the team and lack of chemistry with quarterback play, as it was inconsistent throughout his tenure with the team. He requested to leave the team. Jackson made his return to the Eagles on the 13th of March 2019 in exchange for a 2019 6th-round compensatory selection. He made his return in Midnight Green in Week 1 against his former team, the Washington Redskins. The Eagles will start off slow, being down 17-0 before the end of the first half. The team would turn things around, with quarterback Carson Wentz throwing a 51-yard touchdown pass to Jackson. This touchdown pass not only brought back fond memories of Jackson's first tenure with the team, but it was also the spark needed going into the second half. Following a touchdown pass by fellow wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey, Wentz again threw a deep pass to Jackson for a 53-yard touchdown, marking his 31st career touchdown of 50-plus yards. The Eagles will win the game 32-27. With the return of the beloved Eagle and seeing shades of his first tenure, many fans anticipated a comeback season for the Birds. That was until the following week when Jackson suffered a core muscle strain in the Week 2 game against the Falcons. He would remain on the sidelines, hoping to be rehabilitated without surgery. He would return in the Week 9 game against the Chicago Bears, only to have the core muscle tear off the bone after a short time in the game. He would be placed on injury reserve and undergo season-ending surgery on the 5th of November. Fans and analysts drew concern and criticism towards Jackson going into the 2020 season. One of the most notable concerns was his durability, as he had not played a full 16-game season since the 2013 season. This led the Eagles to drafting wide receivers Jalen Reagor, John Hightower, and Quez Watkins. He further drew criticism and backlash following his social media posts falsely quoting Adolf Hitler and praises to Louis Farrakhan. This was a cause of concern not only for the offensive nature of the people he was mentioning, but also because the owner of the team, Jeffrey Lurie, was Jewish. There was speculation of his release from the team following the actions, but the team decided to fine him and have him undergo education training on the matter. The 2020 season started slow, but promising for Jackson, as he was available for the first 3 games, catching 10 passes for 121 yards. He would suffer a hamstring injury against the Bengals, which sidelined him for 3 weeks. He would return in Week 7 against the Giants, but would suffer an ankle fracture on a late hit during a punt return. This injury placed him on injured reserve for 7 games. By his second return in Week 16 against the Dallas Cowboys, a struggling and mentally defeated Wentz was replaced by rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts. Hurts would throw an 81-yard touchdown pass to Jackson. This touchdown marked his 25th career touchdown of 60-plus yards, extending his own NFL record. It was also his 5th career receiving touchdown of 80-plus yards, tying the all-time NFL record held by Hall of Famers including Jerry Rice and Lance Allsworth. Unfortunately, this was also his last NFL touchdown with the Philadelphia Eagles. He finished the 2020 season playing 5 games with 14 receptions for 236 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Following Jack's short and disappointing return to Philadelphia, he was released on the 19th of February 2021. The Los Angeles Rams would sign Jackson on the 21st of March 2021. He would receive his first and only touchdown with the team in Week 3 against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a 34-24 win. With his limited playing time and role in the offense, Jackson requested a trade from the Rams. Little did he know at the time, he could have had a chance to play in the Super Bowl that year. On the 8th of November 2021, Jackson was signed with the Las Vegas Raiders to fill the speed threat role vacated by Henry Ruggs III. In a Week 12 win over the Dallas Cowboys, he caught a 56-yard touchdown, which marked his 34th career touchdown of 50-plus yards, second most in NFL history behind Jerry Rice. He finished the 2021 season between both teams with 20 receptions for 454 yards and 2 touchdowns. Following his tenure with the Raiders, Jackson became a free agent and considered retirement, though he did express interest in playing for a contender team. He would get his chance on the 18th of October 2022 when the Baltimore Ravens signed him to the practice squad. He made his debut for the team in Week 9 against the Saints in a 27-13 win. In Week 12, he caught a 62-yard pass to set up the go-ahead touchdown late in the 4th quarter against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which the Ravens lost 28-27. Though he was signed to the active roster on the 5th of December, Jackson would be released from the team on the 7th of January 2023. Following his release from the Ravens, Jackson spent most of the 2023 season quiet before announcing his retirement from the NFL on the 29th of November, 2023. He signed a one-day contract to retire as a member of the Eagles and was honored during the Eagles game against the 49ers on the 3rd of December, 2023. Jackson finished his 15-year NFL career with 11,263 yards on 641 catches with 58 touchdowns. He currently holds the NFL record of 26 touchdowns, being of 60-plus yards, second most touchdowns of 50-plus yards in touchdowns at 33, with Jerry Rice having 3 more, and 3 Pro Bowl selections, those being in 2009, 2010, and 2013. He is remembered as one of the NFL's greatest deep threat players that many players look up to today. Jackson would serve as an offensive coordinator for Woodrow Wilson Classical High School in 2024. He held the position for one season before transitioning to the head coach for the Delaware State Hornets football team in December 2024. He led the Hornets to an 8-4 record in his debut season, which included a game against his former teammate Michael Vick, who was the head coach for the Norfolk State Spartans. The Hornets would defeat the Spartans 27-20. As of the recording of this video, Jackson is still the head coach of the Hornets following a successful 2025 season and will remain the head coach throughout the 2028 season. Thank you for watching this video. DeSean Jackson was one of my favorite Eagles players growing up. Back in my younger days, my cross-country teammates would face off against the sprinters who were preparing for the upcoming indoor track season. Every Friday, we would play Ultimate Frisbee, even though it wasn't an official Ultimate Frisbee team or game, but nonetheless. It usually ended with the cross-country team winning. I was that one player that would catch the Frisbee deep down the field, either scoring or getting my team downfield. It was because of that I called myself the DeSean Jackson of Ultimate Frisbee. God, those were some fun memories. That aside, it was interesting looking deeper into Jackson's life and career. While I knew a lot about him already, mostly because he was a Philadelphia Eagle, it was interesting to know the little details about his time before, during, and after his NFL career. Even though he didn't get a ring with the Birds, which he absolutely should have, I still thank him for his time and memories wearing an Eagles uniform. He is forever an Eagle and an NFL legend. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Make good decisions. And have a wonderful rest of your day.